In our spotlight, a special election for a U.S. House seat in Tennessee, a new FEC filing shows that the Trump-aligned super PAC, MAGA Inc., has invested nearly $1.7 million into the campaign there of Republican candidate Matt Van Epps, who's vying to replace outgoing Representative Mark Green. It's the first election the PAC has invested in so far this term. President Trump posting online urging voters to head to the polls, writing that he gives Van Epps his, quote, complete and total endorsement. Reporter for the Tennessean, Vivian Jones, joins us to discuss more on this. Vivian, great to have you. So as voters head to the polls, Van Epps got this major endorsement from President Trump, but his Democratic opponent has received support from a Democratic super PAC as well. So just lay out a little bit, what's at stake here? And is this really so close in ruby red Tennessee?
Yeah, actually, thanks so much for having me on. So actually, Van Epps actually scored the Trump endorsement pretty early on in the primary. So he's had the endorsement from the primary on, including going into the general. And really races in areas like this in deep red Tennessee are often decided in the primaries. So Tennessee 7 has been considered a safe Republican district for a very long time before redistricting in 2021. Republicans typically were winning this district by a margin of about 30 points. And then after redistricting, we saw last year a plus 22 Republican victory. So I think a lot of people were expecting this race to actually be decided in the primary. But a lot has happened nationally since the primary. Obviously, Trump made the endorsement of Van Epps in the primary, which I think helped a lot in bolstering him in that victory. But we also had the longest ever federal government shutdown. Affordability came top of mind for a lot of people during that time. We saw some big Democratic victories on which Democrats are hoping to build on that momentum and capitalize on that momentum for a victory tonight. Meanwhile, Representative Bain and her team have been really laser focused on grassroots outreach throughout this entire time, from the primary on through the general. And there are indications here that they've moved the needle, with the Emerson College poll that came out last week showing that the race is now within about 2 percentage points, which a few weeks ago would be almost considered unthinkable in such a deep red district. So in response, we've seen, as you mentioned, this huge investments from MAGA Inc., the PAC. There's been also a lot of spending by other outside PACs on behalf of Van Epps and attacking Representative Bain. So lots of big national circumstances that have contributed and timing that have all kind of created a really an unusual circumstance for this special election in Tennessee.
No doubt about that. Vivian Jones, appreciate you covering this and joining us to talk about it. Thanks so much.
Thank you.